Thanks very much, Johanna, for that very kind introduction, for the invitation to be here today. Something that I'm really passionate about. Sustainability is, touches all of us in ways that we probably don't realize. And I wanted to pick up on one specific example, which is really around waste. And I know when we think about waste recycling, we sort of assume that it's either you can recycle materials or you can't. And often sort of, we're told that, oh, look, these are impossible to recycle. And I guess part of what I want to leave behind today is really thinking about how these material resources are actually valuable resources as part of our economy, as part of our supply chains, our ability to actually make all the things that we need, whether it is, for our homes, whether it is for indeed achieving electrification and creating devices that we just become so used to. And we know, of course, that when we think about advances in technology, we can't just detach it to the point that, well, it's a machine, somebody's going to give you a machine and off we go. What we are realizing very quickly, of course, is in the current sort of conditions that supply chains of materials, resources, products are very much front and center of minds, which means if we are going to value all those goods and services and products that we need for our education, for our health, our well-being, to just do everything that we want to in our lives, and to be able to do it in a way that we don't leave anybody behind. We think about sustainable housing as an example. And how do we make sure that no matter where you are in the world, we will be able to make those basic building materials? And we, of course, do understand that that takes resources, that takes materials, it takes energy to make. So what does that have to do with waste? And I guess the connectivity is in that simple connection between all kinds of things that we throw away in terms of our waste glass, our textiles, our waste batteries, all of these important materials actually can be reformed and put that towards production. And when we actually start to do that in a way that is decentralized, that is affordable, it enables and empowers our communities across Australia and indeed across the world to take advantage of what we are now calling as waste, but fully recognizing that these are useful resources. So let me pick up on examples of things that we have actually made in our microfactories. And I'll hold up these kinds of examples of our green ceramic tiles. And you might just sort of then start to wonder, well, what do these tiles have to do with the kinds of waste resources that I've been talking about? You might actually be interested to know that in our microfactories, that are regional microfactories, we use waste glass and waste textiles in this particular example. And there's a whole long list of other materials that we use in our microfactories. But to be able to create these kinds of products from waste textiles and waste glass in a way that they're decentralized, so that you can imagine microfactories being set up in regional and remote Australia, allowing communities to really be empowered, where we learn from each other. And I guess part of the reason why we're excited about a lot of that fundamental research, which of course we acknowledge the fact that research provides that platform. But the other important next step is about sustainability in terms of delivering those practical, tangible solutions in a way we can actually show that it makes environmental sense, but it also makes business sense to do so. And I guess this is where, of course, from our context, one of the things that we are really proud to host is on Sustainable Communities and Waste Hub. This is funded through the National Environmental Science Program. It really gives communities, businesses, big and small, to really come together and collaborate. And I think when we're talking about a collaborative future, if I go right back to that point I was making earlier about supply chains, we have access to all of these materials literally in our backyard. We know there's no shortage of materials like waste textiles. How do we actually incorporate that in making these important building materials and products? We know we have access to waste batteries. They come out of our homes. We know we have access to all of these goods that if we were to reclassify them as useful resources, what we do need is the capacity and ability to bring about manufacturing solutions in a decentralized way so we can add value and we can, of course, create those local jobs, transform those resources into valuable materials and products and deploy them in our economy. So this is exactly what we have proven can be done. Our very first regional microfactory that was launched in Cootamundra in New South Wales last year is an exemplar of that. And we are on our journey to deploying more and more microfactories, which allows our communities to collaborate and deploy technology. And Australia leads the world in these microfactory solutions so that we can actually provide hopefully real world, practical, tangible solutions to show sustainability in action that delivers, of course, a win win outcome for our people and for our planet. Thank you very much.